It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Hey, you know what day it is? It's Wednesdays, and what does that mean? Hey, that's Where Are They Now Wednesdays with Playing on Sports. Mr. Kent Mueller at playingonsports@gmail.com. You can send an email to get the newsletter for all the things and all the people and the events that we talk about here on Where Are They Now Wednesdays. You can go to playingonsports.substack.com and follow along with us as we go on throughout the year. We're in episode 10 here, 10 consecutive weeks, so 2.5 months into this. And this is a reminder that you're watching the original Where Are They Now Wednesdays. Don't be fooled by the Johnny-come-latelys or some other imposter. Playing on Sports and the Missouri Sports Network are your source, or sources, for what Missouri high school talent does when they get to the national stage of the NCAA. No one has more information for you than we do. We really appreciate the attention and loyalty. And do us a big favor. Hey, please pass this on. You don't have to tell 2 friends. Just tell 1 friend. Tune in, like us on Facebook, go to our YouTube page and subscribe, and you'll get to see all these episodes. You'll get notifications to your phone. You can follow us on Twitter as well. And my name's Guy Newcomb, and alongside is Kent Mueller. How's it going? Is it hot?
It is very hot. It's 100 degrees here in Kansas City. That's hot in anybody's book, I think.
It is indeed. I've been watering my garden, just trying to keep up, and I'm going to have more tomatoes this year than I've ever had, I believe. I added another little section to my garden as we head in here into the dog days of summer, and everything's kind of wrapped up. Not only at the professional level, with the National Hockey season coming to an end a night ago, but also with regards to the College World Series coming to an end. And I know we're going to talk about that throughout the show. But Kent, I know you've got some things on your mind you'd like to share as well.
That's right. This is a little bit of a segue from what we normally talk about, and I have something just out of the ordinary. So yes, it's out of the ordinary that we're talking about someone who isn't competing in the NCAA at this time. And those of you who are familiar with the newsletter, Playing on Sports, and this podcast, you know that we focus on Missouri athletes after they leave high school and when they compete in the NCAA. And those are the select few athletes that have that opportunity that they've earned. But today I want to deviate just a bit. And I acknowledge that there's never any assurance that any high school player will go on and play in the to be determined. And that's part of the fun of sports. But perhaps I can label this item as the Where Are They Now Wednesday future. How much confidence I have in this one. This week, Maddie DeMaria made history. She was the goalie this year on the girls soccer team at Cor Jesu Academy in St. Louis. Earlier this year, Gatorade named her the Missouri Gatorade Girls Soccer Player of the Year. Yes, the best high school girls soccer player in Missouri. However, this last week, Gatorade looked at all 50 state Gatorade Players of the Year, and they named Maddie the #1 girls soccer player in the year. She is the National Gatorade Player of the Year. That is an outstanding honor, and the main thing is here that Maddie is a freshman in high school this last year. She was judged the best soccer player in the entire country, the best high school player, and she is only a freshman. And I have a pretty good hunch that in years 5 through 8 of Where Are They Now Wednesdays, Guy, you and I will be talking a lot about Maddie DeMaria, because those are the 4 years she'll be competing in college. We'll be hearing her name again many times.
Well, and that's just remarkable that a freshman would win a national award like that. That's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations to Maddie and the Corazoo family there, and I'm sure they're excited as well.
It's true. Anytime you're the first person to do something nationally, that's big.
Very good. And is everybody ready out there? Because we've done our homework this week as we're kind of wrapping up. As I mentioned, the College World Series came to an end last night. University of Tennessee is your College World Series champion with ties to St. Louis, with the head coach and Vitelli being from that area and having coached at in the area. But tell us a little bit about kind of wrap up, put a bow on this collegiate season at the NCAA level.
Well, it ended last evening, and in the 3-game national championship series, in Game 1 on Saturday, Texas A&M defeated number 1 Tennessee 9-5. And then in Game 2, Tennessee came from behind to beat the Aggies 4-1. In Game 3 last night, A&M lost to Tennessee 6-5, despite scoring 2 in the top of the ninth to make it a very exciting game. Caden Wilson is a freshman out of Ray Peck. He pitched in the deciding game of the Super Regional for the Aggies as a freshman. He also got to the mound in the second game of the championship series with Tennessee. So we look forward to his sophomore year next year. I see good things, great things coming from him in the future. Now, as we go through this championship review, as Guy mentioned, this is episode 10, and it's midway through our 3-week series here of championship results. We all know it takes a lot to win a national title. Many call that a natty. It also takes a lot to be a part of one of those teams. We're reviewing every Missouri athlete who was on a roster that ended the season with an NCAA national championship. And I just ask people to think in their minds, how many athletes do you know that was on a team that won an NCAA national championship this year? Well, Guy and I, we know 70 of those who contributed to a national championship, all from here in Missouri. And that includes freshmen who had limited playing time but are ready to move up in a national class program, to the one who led the team to the national championship as the team's captain. So I suggest you don't miss an episode and you won't miss any of the stories of these 70 national champions. So to get started, we'll get started with Division I women's volleyball. It's a particularly strong sport here locally. The University of Texas Longhorns won the national title. They finished 28-4. They won the Big 12 title, and they went undefeated in the NCAA tournament. The Longhorns, they like Missouri talent. In 2016, they finished second to Stanford in the nation with the help of Ori Agbaji, who in that year was a freshman out of Oak Park High. Well, this year, on that roster, out of Rockbridge, a freshman is Ella Swindle. And the superlatives come easy for this 6'3" freshman center. Starting all 32 matches, she averaged over 9.4 assists per set. Ella also got 30 service aces during the season, and she was named to the Big 12 Conference All-Rookie team. Moving on to Division III women's basketball. The New York University Violets won the national title. 2 years ago, they were 25-2. They lost in the Elite Eight. Last year, they went 25-3, and they lost in the Elite Eight. This year, they ran the table. They're 31-0. They defeated Smith College in the national championship game. And on that roster, out of Kirkwood, is a senior, Natalie Bruns. And I want to spend a little extra time on Natalie because she is such a good story. I started writing about her over a year ago. She's a 6'1" player and has played both forward and post in her college career. And I want to mention now that New York University did not play her freshman year at all because of COVID. So she got 3 years at the college level. Natalie has played in all 84 games since then, and she started all but two of them. And as a junior a year ago, she averaged 15 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 2.9 blocks per game. Following that season, Natalie was named to All American by the Women's Basketball Coaches Association, along with being her conference's Player of the Year. The college sports communicators named her their academic All American team. So she was All American athletically and academically as a junior. So as a senior this year, she averaged 14.3 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 3.2 blocks per game. The Women's Basketball Coaches Association named her again to the first as the first team All American. In addition to that, they named her the National Division III Women's Basketball Player of the Year, the best of the best. The Collegiate Sports Communicator also named her a repeat academic All American. And beyond that, the CSC named her the #1 academic All American. So, in addition to repeating as both an All American as an academic, she also did so as an academic All American. So, Natalie was named the uh, #1 Division III women's basketball player, both on the court and academically. Folks, there simply isn't anything else you can accomplish when you're in college. And looking back on her collegiate career at NYU, she has the most blocks in one game, which was 10. She has the second most in the game on their career charts with 8. Natalie's 98 blocks this year is a program season record, besting her junior year when she blocked 80 shots. Her 498 shooting from the field is the program's fourth best in for a career. Her 777 shooting from the line is the program's fifth best for a career. And she easily has the most career blocks with 237. That's 55 more than the second most. And remember what I said at the beginning of this. She only played 3 years. Everybody else got 4 on that list. She got 3, and she is still 55 blocks ahead of #2. So those are amazing accomplishments by Natalie Bruns out of Kirkwood High. So we'll move on to wrestling in Division II. University of Central Oklahoma Broncos won that title. On that roster out of Kearney as a sophomore, Leighton Manley. As a sophomore, he didn't get to compete in the NCAA championship, but in the prior year, Leighton went 9 for 10 of the 133-pound category and with 6 bonus victories, and he was 0-2 this year in conference play. Division III women's tennis is won by the University of Chicago Maroons. On that roster out of Barstow was a freshman, Serena Biria. She competed in singles 8 times, competing as high as the 3rd spot. Her first singles win was in the 5th spot as she defeated DePauw 6-1, 6-love. Serena competed in 3 doubles matches during her first season, going 2-1. Her first doubles win was also against DePauw, 8-1. But most notably, Serena's last singles win was in the national championship match. She defeated her opponent from Wesleyan University 6-1, 2-6, 6-4. That capped off a great freshman year for the tennis player out of Barstow. Now, NCAA gymnastics. That title was won by the Louisiana State University Tigers. And I think a lot of people, if not everyone, knows that Olivia Dunn is an LSU gymnast. But now you also know that Aaliyah Finnegan is also an LSU gymnast. She is a sophomore at a Summit Christian Academy. And to set the scene, I will quote the LSU sports information director immediately following the national championship competition. She said, with one performance remaining, Aaliyah Finnegan delivered a 9.95 on beam to lift the LSU gymnastics team to the first NCAA championship in program history. There you have it. Missouri talent led LSU to a gymnastics national title. During the season, Aaliyah scored a 10 on the beam, then on the floor, and then on the vault, and then again on the floor. That makes her the first gymnast in LSU history to record 4 consecutive 10s. She scored 7 tens throughout the entire season. She also achieved All-American status 7 times this year. 1 on the bars, 1 on the beams, 3 on the floor, and 2 in the all-around. As a sophomore, right there among the best of the best. Division I men's swimming and diving. That was won by the Arizona State Sun Devils. The Sun Devils won their first NCAA title in program history this year. Now let's take a look as to why. A big reason why is Jack Dolan, who's a graduate student out of Eureka High. Jack got started off early in his Sun Devil career by winning his first race as a freshman. He won the 200 freestyle against Utah that year. He ended his first year competing in 3 events at the Pac-12 championships, placing second in the 200 free. In his sophomore year, he placed in the top 8 in 3 events at the NCAA championship to help his team place 6th as a team, which was the highest team finish for Arizona State since 1982. Continuing the trend, in his junior year, Jack placed in the top 7 in 6 events of the NCAA championships. That pushed Arizona State to 2nd in the country as a team. That's its highest finish in program history. Arizona State also won its first conference title that year. To show that as Jack Dolan goes, so goes the Sun Devils. His senior year saw new program heights. Jack placed 7th or better in 4 events, winning the 400 free relay. And Arizona State won its first men's swimming and diving national title. Jack holds the school record in the 50 free. He also is part of 2 program relay records, in addition to being a part of the NCAA Division I all-time fastest 400 free relay. Of course, his NCAA 400 free relay record is also the Pac-12 conference record. And sadly, due to the demise of the Pac-12, this is one time I can say with certainty that that is a record that will never be broken. Division III men's swimming and diving, that was won this year by the Emory Eagles. Now, if you want to take a look at a dominant collegiate sports program, take a look at the Emory Eagles men's swimming and diving team. The Emory has won, it's one of the all-time dominant programs in all of NCAA sports. The Eagles won their 3rd consecutive title this year. That was their 4th in the last 6 years and 33rd national team title in program history. And I say that because that makes these roster spots among the most difficult to achieve in all of college sports. And one of those was achieved by a freshman out of Clayton High, Graham Zucker. As a freshman, Graham competed in the 50, 100, 200, and 500 freestyle and the 100 and 200 backstroke. His best 200 backstroke time this year was the 4th fastest all season for the Eagles. Graham scored points for Emory in the NCAA championships by placing 14th in the consolation final of the 200-meter backstroke. So 1 college year, 1 national title. We look forward to next season. And Division II women's swimming and diving, that was won by the Nova Southeastern Sharks. That was their 2nd consecutive national championship. That was also Maya Esparza, her 2nd year on the team. She is a sophomore out of Marquette. She competes in freestyle events. At the Sunshine State Conference Championships, Maya placed 3rd in the 50-yard free and 5th in the 100-yard free. And she qualified for the NCAA finals, where she placed 40th in the 50-yard free prelims and 38th in the 100-yard free prelims at the national championship meet. So there you have it. We have 8 athletes from Missouri today that we reviewed, and all 8 were on national championship teams. And next week, we'll complete our review and look at the rest of the 70 Missouri graduates who helped their team to win a national championship in the NCAA.
Very good. As we look forward to, episode 11, there's a lot of other things going on, at the Missouri Sports Network in partnership with Playing on Sports. You might mention some of those things that are happening and how folks can kind of get involved and be a part of it.
Well, we are getting ready to launch the Missouri Career 1000 list. In basketball, at every level, people like to talk about the 1,000-point scorers, but who are they? How many are there? Well, there are a lot of them, but you can't find them. There's no list anywhere. That's going to change with the Missouri Sports Network Missouri Career 1000 list. There will be one for boys and one for girls. We have around 1,000 names collected already, and we think maybe we're a fifth of the way through this list. And of course, then there will be additions each and every year. So the list that you know of from your school of 1,000-point scorers, both boys and girls, send those lists to Missouri Career 1000 at gmail.com. Again, that's Missouri Career 1000 at gmail.com. Simply state the school, the athlete's first and last name, the year they graduated, and of course, the number of their career points. We'll get them on the list. We'll also let you know when we have that list up online for everybody to be able to review and appreciate. Also, we're going to be launching the on this date of Missouri high school sports history. We have found that there's so many great things that has happened over more than a century of Missouri high school sports that there's something every day that happened in history that is really pretty outstanding. So we're going to be bringing those to you on a daily basis on into the future. We'll have a lot to talk about, a lot of amazing athletes who have done a lot of amazing things throughout over 100 years of Missouri high school history.
Outstanding. And again, once again, we say, hey, give us a like on Facebook, subscribe to it on YouTube, and you'll know when every one of these episodes come up, whether it be the Missouri Career 1000, whether it be on this date in history, maybe it's the top 100 athletes of the 21st century. As you look back on just what's happened with Jason Tatum, winning an NBA national championship. He's a Missouri guy. Matthew Tkachuk played in the NHL. Stanley Cup Finals. Now come up short, but he's also a Missouri high school athlete. And going back to even the Tyler Hansborough and names like that from earlier in this century. And we'll be asking you for your feedback on those as well as we develop that top 100 list. And it's going to be tough. Just sitting here off the top of my head, between Kent and I and Darren Archer and some other guys that are involved, we come up with 100. That's not hard. It's going to be narrowing them down, but we certainly appreciate everybody being a part of it. And again, the Missouri Career 1000 at Gmail is scrolling across the bottom of the page right now. And Kent, once again, hey, we've wrapped it up, and on to episode 11.
Very good. We'll see you next week.
All right, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
I'll have the avocado toast, minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America.
A super strong and capable Chevy truck.
And a high-tech Chevy SUV.
Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar?